As the coronavirus spreads and masks are in demand, some have taken mask production into their own hands.
Students in the USC School of Cinematic Arts struggle to finish their films under stay-at-home guidelines.
Thousands of hikers have had to cancel their trips this year. Why it's hard to keep your social distance even in the great outdoors.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
I ask that you adhere to the principle of taking universal precautions, because we need to assume, even if we're feeling fine, we could be infected and we could infect others.
The director of the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health says 65 people in the county have died from COVID-19. Good evening, I'm Noah Camras reporting from my home in West Hills, California.
And I'm Labruna reporting from my home in Fullerton, California. Officials say you can spread the virus for as long as 2 days before you show any symptoms. As more tests are distributed, the number of infected keeps rising.
Across the United States, there have been more than 186,000 cases of COVID-19, as reported by the CDC, and the number of deaths is at least 3,603.
And in California, there have been more than 8,700 cases reported and 180 deaths. LA County Health Director Barbara FERRER urged people to stay at home and stop buying masks designed for the medical community.
The most important use for masks is for healthcare workers. If our healthcare workers do not have their personal protection equipment, it is impossible for them to do their jobs, and that means it's impossible for the rest of us to be able to get the kind of healthcare we're going to need if we should become ill. Please don't go out and try to get N95s. But there may be a benefit for the rest of us to use masks that are homemade. This can be a scarf, a bandana, or masks that are made out of pieces of fabric.
Hi there, I'm Amanda Ani-Offiong reporting from downtown Los Angeles. All around the city, people are bent over sewing machines, making masks as fast as they can. I spoke to two of those volunteers. One is a sitcom director, and the other is a member of the Costume Guild.
We're getting our fabric. We're cutting 6x9 pieces. I'm making up all of those into piles here. And then we're going to make them into kits, and we're going to give them to our members to sew. So we're making several thousand, as many as we can. And I've cut over 820 pieces that have been delivered to the Guild, and they put those kits together, and then they're passing them out to our members to make these.
So this is the one that we're making now for the nurses to wear over their other masks. So these require a little more detailed work and stuff, but I enjoy doing that too. So in other words, our journey has been one of just seeing where there's a need and finding out, where we can go.
To close its in-house dining, the Long Beach restaurant used leftover high-proof alcohol to make a little extra hand sanitizer, while word spread quickly as post offices, hospitals, and police departments were calling in orders. It's been overwhelming for Simon Haxton and his 3-team staff, but they're happy to be able to make a difference.
A week or two ago, the FDA sent out guidelines and said, we're not telling you can, but we're not going to prosecute you if you do this without a permit. And then after that came some guidance to say, this is what the formula should look like, this is what the label should look like. And after that, we were up and running. We are only selling to hospitals, first responders, critical infrastructure. If we have inventory after we've sold to the medical professionals.
Hi, I'm Jaewon Jung reporting from Fountain Valley. I'm in front of my apartments where, like many others in America, rent is due today. But ever since the COVID-19 outbreak, many are in panic that they may face possible eviction. City council members spoke at an online press conference to discuss possible rent cancellations and mortgage moratoriums. I also spoke to impacted college students about their rent.
I'm advocating for a complete freeze, whether it's a moratorium, suspension, forgiveness, however you call it, for rents, mortgages, water bills, property taxes, insurance payments. Whatever it is, I am in full support.
Now that I'm just on my scheduled hours, which is only like under 10 hours a week, I'm having more difficulty like figuring out how I'm going to mitigate the rent cost.
I was paying around $3,500 per semester. Since I've paid all of it, we made an agreement that they'll reimburse half of the house bill, but we're going to get it back in the fall semester.
Cinema school students at USC are facing some difficult times as classes turn virtual. Many have worked the past few months on a semester-long project only to be forced to edit and produce from home. Two seniors shared their stories with me.
Projects and stuff is really dependent on, us as filmmakers being in the shared space together and being able to bounce ideas off of each other. Being separated has kind of, thrown a bit of a wrench into that. We've had to, realize a different workflow. Overall, I mean, in terms of like the actual production, we've made a lot of good progress, I think, as much as we can. I think at the end of the day, it's just all a collaborative process. It's all like working through the issues that we have together. And
the amount of time put into these films is just like unbelievable. We go in every Tuesday and we see like, okay, it's, we have a rough cut, then we have a fine cut, then it's a sound synced cut, then it's locked, and then it's color graded, and it's like you can watch it progress and you're all watching it together. And we're still doing that online. It's just a little bit different.
The UC Board of Regents is easing admission requirements for fall 2021 applicants. SAT and ACT exams have been postponed or canceled due to the coronavirus outbreak. As a result, there will be no standardized test requirements for fall 2021 applicants. The letter grade requirement for college prep classes has also been suspended. And for transfer students, the cap on transferable units taken as pass, no pass for junior academic standing has been temporarily suspended.
This is Alwa Jama reporting from Woodstock, Georgia. While the state of Georgia declared a public health emergency in response to the spread of the novel coronavirus, businesses in several counties still remain open. I spoke with workers in Cherokee County, Georgia, to see their concerns on continuing to go to work during this time.
Everything is either call in, pick up, to go. People can wait outside for it, and we bring it out to them. We're using gloves for all like transactions and making coffee and stuff. And then we do have tables outside, like a patio. And so those remain open, but one chair at each table.
Biggest concern would be like people coming in with the virus, not staying home, and nobody knowing about it, and then it's spreading throughout the store really fast. I don't know if that happened, they would shut the store down.
This is Adam Tolson reporting from Marin County, California. Project Angel Food held a live Q&A on Facebook to discuss their ongoing efforts during the pandemic.
We gave every single client, I think we've done it as of today, 3 weeks of shelf-stable meal. And thank you for just showing that Los Angeles is filled with angels.
Parks and trails are shutting down because of social distancing orders. I'm Becky Sweeney reporting from Griffith Park in Los Angeles. April is usually the time of year when hikers start those really long treks, the one that takes several months. But now, California is closing roads to state parks, and a lot of local governments, like LA, have closed hiking trails and facilities.
Honestly, I have a life I love.
Just a month ago, Alicia Henry spent every weekend trekking up mountains and setting up camping grounds. She used the Facebook group Sister Nature to coordinate trips and teach outdoor skills to new hikers.
Finding those groups of people that will really help you and support you in that, and knowing that it's like does some form of good for yourself or for others, I think is what the PCT allowed me to realize was outdoors was my experience.
The PCT is the Pacific Crest Trail. It runs all the way from Mexico to Canada. She hiked the 2,650 miles a couple years ago, but now the association is advising all hikers to postpone or cancel their plans to protect the small towns near the trail.
Like so many small rural communities across the nation, their emergency services, their healthcare services are already strained trying to care for their local populations.
You learn to push through physical pain. You learn to push like when you're mentally exhausted. You learn to go through that. And to be told that no matter what you do, especially right now, like give up, and to not do that it's very hard.
But a lot of hikers are encouraging people to do their part to stay home.
The trail will be there, even if it doesn't happen like exactly how you planned.
She's enjoying the little things like her morning coffee and sitting out on her patio while she waits a little longer to go to her next adventure. For Annenberg Media, I'm Becky Sweeney.
Good evening, I'm Tyler Myerly reporting from Corona, California. The All England Club announced today that the Wimbledon Championships are canceled due to the coronavirus pandemic. This would be the first time since World War II in 1945 that the tournament has been canceled. Tennis stars across the globe expressed their devastation. Roger Federer is one of those and tweeted, "Devastated." And American Coco Gauff, who became a rising star in last year's Wimbledon, tweeted a response as well. While the All England Club considered postponement, they decided a cancellation altogether was the best option. In the NFL, owners approved the vote to expand the postseason to a 14-team playoffs because who doesn't love more football? This new design will add one team per conference and means that only the number one seeds in the AFC and NFC will earn a postseason bye. That means more games on Wild Card Weekend, and that also means that Rams and Steelers could have had a shot last season. Now over to Jordan with more.
Thanks, Tyler. Jordan Hunter reporting from Sacramento, California. The MLB season is currently on hold due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Dodgers fans still received some good news earlier today. AT&T reached a deal with Spectrum for the purchase of Sportsnet LA, allowing Dodgers games to be carried on all of their platforms such as DirecTV. Before this deal, many Dodgers fans who didn't have Spectrum were unable to watch games. It also left bars and restaurants who had DirecTV blacked out from viewing. With this new deal in place, once the season begins, Sportsnet LA and the Dodgers will be able to reach a much wider audience in the Southern California area. Boston Celtics guard Marcus Smart confirmed with his agent that he plans to donate blood plasma to the National COVID-19 Convalescent Plasma Project to help with their research. Smart is among at least 4 recovered NBA players who will share their plasma for an experimental treatment that could help high-risk patients overcome coronavirus. Smart was given a clean bill of health on Sunday from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. He was one of 15 members of NBA organizations to test positive with the virus.
Today is Census Day. This is a deadline for completing the census forms online, by phone, or by mail. Every 10 years, we count the number of people living in the U.S. The results determine how federal funding is allocated and the number of representatives each state gets in Congress. Those who have not yet responded can expect a visit by a census taker, but the coronavirus is delaying those in-person visits for now.
A computerized Cupid has struck the Trojan family. I'm Angie Stroud reporting from Los Angeles. Dating site Match.SC used artificial intelligence to find the perfect match for over 5,000 Trojans. I talked to students Josh Code and Ariane Barker to see if they're happy with the results.
I was excited, but the guy that they matched me with, I already kind of know who he is, and I'm not super interested in him. In theory, I think it's a good way to connect students, because a lot of the questions are rooted in the USC experience, social life and campus life.
Thanks for watching ATVN. We hope you'll check out more newscasts on the Annenberg Media YouTube channel every Monday through Thursday.
And for more continuous coverage on COVID-19, head to uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.